Alright, hello everyone and welcome to League Review. I'm your host William and with me today actually I have two people. I have Brian
Hello.
and Ryan.
Yeah.
Hello.
And we haven't had people on in a while, it feels like. But man, we had a crazy day today, opening up of the free agency. As if you've been following League, you're probably all looking forward to this day, as I was. And I like how the blue looks completely different on my monitor than it does on myself. Anyway, got distracted. But yeah, we had tons of announcements that happened today. I'm gonna go over really quickly the ones that happened before today, just to catch everyone up, and then after that we'll just purely discuss today's and in the future type deal. So basically, before today, since let's see, when did they win Worlds? That would have been November 10th, right?
Yes.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Wait, no,
I don't know the
Was it
actual
November
day.
3rd or November 10th? Don't remember. Anyway,
rumor that happened was on the 9th with the Evil Geniuses
yes.
thing.
Okay. Yeah. So the nine. We'll do it anyway. Evil Geniuses signed Svenskeren or acquired Svenskeren and Zazel from Cloud9. I believe they also Kumo and Definitely as well were in that deal. Uh, Dignitas signed Huni to a 2.5 million deal or 2.3 million deal. 100 Thieves hired Zix as their new head coach. Cho resigned from Griffin. Excel Youngbuck joined Excel. Vizichache retired. Norskaren joined Excel from Splice. Faker was extended. Surprise to no one.
Mhm.
Deft was extended. No, surprise to no one. And then all the good stuff, basically from there. That was all the stuff from this last week. But now, today was essentially. Oh, I didn't even see that one. I didn't realize Mata was released from SKT. I did see Effort has been re-signed to a 2-year deal. KT has parted ways with Smeb, Score, BDD, and Prey. So the whole team essentially.
Yeah.
Afrika has parted with Aiming, UCal, and Jelly. So half the team, more than half. And Genji has gotten rid of 8 of their 9 players. So I think the only one left was Ruler, and so they're all
That's
gone
gotta be
too.
weird.
Yeah, that's gotta be really weird, you know. Like, let's have a meeting, everyone. You're all fired except for you, Ruler. You can stay.
And life.
Oh, and
Life.
Life did stay as well. So 8 of their 10 players. I forgot they had so many players on Genji. So pretty much they got rid of their like all their backups and everything. It was weird. I mean, it makes sense. It is Genji had a very rough year, and then from there we had the 6:30 show with Jacob Wolf on ESPN, and then since then we've had the free agency started technically at 7 p.m. our time. So all of this happened as of 3 hours ago. So obviously they're not breaking news or anything, but we're talking about them. So we could open these ones up. Rogue acquired Hansama from Misfits, and Vander, they extended Vander as a support. I really like this. What did you guys think of this? I really like this situation for Rogue.
Yeah, I think it's a good signing because I think Vander was like their team, like the voice of their team at least.
Hmm.
Not that I know. And then Hansama, I mean, Misfits didn't have much to cheer about.
Yeah.
But I'm glad he's getting into a new environment. Hopefully he can get back to where he's been.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah.
That's about as much as I can say about it too. When it
Mm.
comes to Hans, it felt like it was very much like just an unfortunate circumstance for Hans Sama, for a guy who actually has shown to have a lot of talent as a player. So maybe it's just the change of scenery can do a lot of good for him, and just like a change in roster and foundation could do a lot of good for Misfits in general.
Yeah, Misfits. Misfits was the classic super team that blew up. We had it with 100 Thieves, Misfits, Sunning, and who was the LCK team? Was there an LCK team that blew up? KT. Yeah, all 4 of them kind of built super teams, and all 4 of them fell apart completely.
To be fair, the KT was more of like a layover from
That's true.
Worlds,
That one is
which made it even more unfortunate.
They didn't necessarily build that team in 1 year, which I worked like the others. But it was still a super team that completely sucked, and it had the fit the narrative. And Flash Wolves. There we go. We got all 5 of the major regions had a team that blew up that was supposed to be a super team. Yeah, and then we had SK. This was the first of the we me and Ryan were talking. There was a rumor today about 3 things, and it was the first one was SK is selling Selfmade to Fnatic. That was the first one. That one came. Oh, before that, sorry. Patrick also went to Excel from Origin, which was quite interesting. I think that's a pretty good upgrade for Excel. I like what Excel's doing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
they
think
must
it's
have some good management.
Yeah, it's weird. It's like they got young. The management hires Youngbook, and then they get like Norskaren is an upgrade for them. Patrick's an upgrade for them. Just all around very good offseason so far by Excel. But yeah, SK.
I'm kind of just sad about the meme bot lane. Isn't it possible now? They could have easily got Sven from TSM. They could have had Sven Skaren
Yep.
in the bot lane.
Mm-hmm. Oh man, that would have been hilarious. But yeah, Selfmade went to Fnatic.
But yeah.
That was the first. Me and Ryan talked about this rumor earlier today. I think I mentioned to you earlier today as well, Brian. That was like that. That was a heavy rumor that came. Like that one was a that rumor had weight to it, so I was already kind of worried about it. And then once I saw Selfmade go to Fnatic kind of early, I'm like, shit. Because the second part of that rumor was Fnatic hiring Mithy as the head coach, and Mithy got hired as the head coach at Fnatic. That one. Before today, I was very surprised. I wasn't surprised when they broke the news because, hang on one second. Is my oh no, never mind. I was like, I saw desktop audio not going anywhere, and I'm like, but no, but that's not my mic. But yeah, I had. So what do you guys think about Mithy being the head coach of Fnatic? First year coach, just retired, coming to a Worlds contending team.
You want to take it, Ryan? Okay. Well, honestly, I don't know because we haven't seen him as a coach. I've always thought of him as a smart player, but I guess we'll see. If I think this is kind of like the EU version of if Aframu became a coach.
Yeah, which I
But
can see happening. I think.
yeah, me too. I just think like he has a way of playing the game. It may be a little outdated, so we'll see how it goes if he can adapt to the new, we'll just say Chinese style.
That's
of
a
league.
very interesting point, Brian. I didn't think about that.
Yeah. Because he's not that type of player.
No,
so.
not at all. He's definitely the old school style player. So that's what I thought happened. Ryan seems disconnected.
Yeah.
You're like, how about you go, Ryan? Dead silence.
No, I was like gonna let him talk because I took the first one, but
yeah.
Okay.
But that makes sense now. But yeah,
Ryan has been promoted to viewer. So.
Yep. But yeah, I thought that it was very interesting that Mithy got the head coaching job for a team. It seems weird to get a head coaching job for the first time being on a team that is a Worlds contender. You know, you kind of seem like if it's your first time coaching, you're kind of brought into a team that's like Excel. Like yeah, Excel gets Youngbuck, you know, and Fnatic gets Mithy. It's kind of weird. I don't know. I obviously we have no idea. He could be amazing. He could be the new greatest coach, but it's gonna be up in the air. I don't know how Fnatic's gonna. We still have. They haven't confirmed their lineup yet. I don't know if they're moving any other pieces outside of Broxa, but I guess we'll find out.
Just kind of touching on that too. I mean, Mithy could just be a lot like Youngbuck, where Youngbuck was an ex-pro player as well. He wasn't like someone like huge to write home about. He wasn't like some superstar player, but he found his place as a coach on a team. But then again, at the same point, Mithy is also he's been to like semifinals at Worlds. He has those accolades. He has championships, and maybe he won't translate well to the coaching staff. But apparently, he's been very much like a leader. He's discussed a lot of behind the scenes stuff, led a lot of discussion with his team. So in a way, maybe he'll just fit better into the coaching role where his mechanics have kind of fallen off.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. And but like what Brian said, Mithy plays a very slower style. I'm wondering if that's going to hurt it if he takes that into coaching and how we've been saying forever about how the LPL's more aggressive style is the way to go. So we're kind of curious if that will translate into his coaching, and Fnatic will be a much slower team, and if that will hurt or help them, depending. The minor one, we can talk. I don't know how much briefly we can talk about. Misfits did sign Razork and Denyk. Is that how you pronounce those?
I think
Your
it's
guess
dead.
is as good as mine.
Denyk and Razork, and those were both Giants, former Giants players, jungler and support.
Spanish League,
Yep.
which is weird for the French org.
Yeah, it's just I mean those are signings that obviously Misfits is in complete rebuild mode now that their super team blew up. But yeah, those ones were like, oh, I didn't hear anything about that, but I'm like, whatever. To be honest, they could be really good signings. I just for as much league as I watch, I don't watch those minor leagues, so
Yeah.
I don't know if they're good or not. I'm just assuming they are if they got picked up from a minor league to be a pro team now. So hopefully Misfits they know what they're doing and there will be a good signing. I just don't have much to add to that signing.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know enough about him to say anything.
Mm-hmm.
Only
Could be
thing,
the best
only thing
signing
I'm
of the offseason.
yeah. I think the only thing I'll mention about that is that I guess with how much Misfits kind of screwed the pooch with their huge risk with their super team lineup, then they just benched everyone, brought in their premier team, their academy team, and they actually did better than their main team.
Yeah.
Who knows? Maybe just having some of that extra hunger and not just a bunch of paycheck seekers might actually do them some good.
Yeah, that's
I don't
kind of how
expect- I
Misfits felt.
I feel like they could maybe challenge middle of the pack, but I kind of expect them to be more so kind of like the Excel of last year going into this year. And maybe Excel kind of bumps up into playoff contention depending on how the rest of the roster pans out, but who knows?
Mm-hmm. I agree with that. We'll talk about Origin because I just realized this is broken out between LCS and LEC and stuff like that. But we'll talk about Origin real quick before going to Fnatic because we can just transition Fnatic into NA.
Going up the tiers.
But Origin, they signed Destiny as their support from Mammoth. If you watch Worlds, you saw Mammoth perform exceptionally well, going to a three-way tiebreaker for the first time for an OPL team ever, and three-way tiebreaker for first technically because there's only 3 teams. But yeah, so I'm very excited to see. I'm always excited to see these the minor region teams get a player or two get a chance. Destiny was phenomenal on Mammoth, but it is in the OPL, so it'll be interesting to see how he transitions to the LEC. I think Origin is a perfect fit for him because Mammoth is a very, very slow team. Contrary to most of how the meta has gone, Mammoth is quite slow, and Origin also very slow team. So going from Mythic to Destiny feels like it should be you have the same style, but a younger player with more potential now. Obviously, as Mithy's retired. See, Ryan, you mentioned Mithy and Mickey. Now I'm saying it a million times.
You're welcome.
Origin also made 2 huge signings outside of that. Destiny was a good signing, but it was definitely overshadowed by the signing of Xerxes in the jungle from Splice and Upset, the ADC from Shulka. So those 2, I think Origin have really stepped up their game with those 2 signings. What do you guys think about those 2?
Top 2 free agents on the market going into today.
Yep.
And they're already gone.
Yep. Both to the same team. What do you think? For me, when I see them do that, I see Origin as a top 3 competitor now, for sure. Where last year they kind of struggled at the end. I think that Shulka's going to struggle a lot now without Upset. I think they're going to be in a rebuilding mode. We see Misfits in a rebuilding mode. I think Excel and Rogue are going to compete pretty well, and Splice is probably is in a rebuilding mode as well. So I think Origin's probably going to be top 2, top 3. They're not going to be 1 as we were talking about earlier today. G2 is their own region essentially, with how far
Definitely.
ahead they are of the rest of EU.
Not even close.
Yeah, it's not even close. Yeah. So. Do you guys agree with that, with Origin probably being top 2, 3-ish after this preseason wise?
I'd say so. I mean, I think they're making moves in the right direction. I'm happy with those changes for the team. I'm not a fan of the team, but I think they're great signings for what's available.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's big upgrades for them as well. Cause who the heck was the jungler for Origin? I'm was it Cold?
Memento?
It was Cold. It was Memento.
Cold.
No, Memento's SO4.
That's yeah.
Yeah,
Memento-
It was one of those.
But yeah, Cold. So I think Xerxes is a pretty big upgrade over Cold, and I think that Upset is a decent upgrade over Patrick as well. Pretty good upset, or pretty good upgrade over Patrick.
pretty big upset.
Pretty big upset. But yeah, so the final one for EU was Broxa going to Team Liquid, which was the third and final rumor. First one was Selfmade to Fnatic, then it was Mithy to Fnatic head coach, and then it was Broxa's leaving Fnatic for Team Liquid.
Which is a great segue into the North American
Yep.
discussion, I suppose.
And if you want to see my my original reaction to that, I'm gonna pull it up.
Yes. Show me show him the chat in Discord.
Let's pull this up here real quick, and I was not too happy about it.
You need to tell us how you really feel, Will.
There's a lot of F-bombs there because I had mentioned this when we heard this rumor. I talked about it, saying I think Broxa is almost the exact same player as Xmithy. Very similar to me, in my opinion. Just completely identical. So you're
Right
not
down to being a really good Lee Sin.
yeah, pretty well. Actually,
Smithy's Lee Sin is good.
it's not
He
bad.
was
It's not bad.
He was like the best Lee Sin in A for a little while.
Yeah, he had
And
that.
then now you just have the best Lee Sin in EU. So maybe it's just a strict upgrade.
I don't think it's that big of an upgrade. And my issue with that is, so sure, you get a new jungler. Maybe you just need some new blood. I totally understand that from a Team Liquid's standpoint. Xmithy was the weak link of this team. If you can call it a weak link, because again, Team Liquid is basically to NA at the moment what G2 is, just at a much smaller scale.
Much like NA to EU.
Yeah, exactly. It's the exact. Thank you very much, Brian, for 7 months subscription. I really.
Where's my founder badge? Did I lose it?
I don't know. I have no idea.
I don't know either. Whatever.
Damn it, Twitch.
But yeah,
We need to switch to Mixer.
just like NA is weaker than EU, Team Liquid is dominating NA, obviously 4 titles in a row. Still probably the best team as of, in my opinion, at the moment. We still have, obviously, pieces to fall in, and we don't know if Team Liquid... Is Jensen finalized yet? Because there's still that rumor for 100 Thieves Jensen.
I mean, he's still not. Nothing's finalized.
Nothing's final,
yet.
yeah.
But I don't think. But no one has said. People have said as much about Jensen, in terms of the ESPN reports, as they've said about Niski.
Got it.
Which means it's probably nothing going to happen.
Gotcha. But yeah, so anyway, you get the same jungler. You give Xmithy, which is not an so you waste an import slot for the same thing where Xmithy is not an import, and you give another competitor a non-import jungler who's going to be top 1 to top 3 best jungler in NA. I would assume that Broxo's right up there with Xmithy and Svenskeren. They're all the top 3 junglers at the moment, and luckily for me personally, Xmithy went to Immortals. That just broke 30 minutes ago.
Oh my god! It literally makes no sense.
I told you, no one saw it coming. I did. I told. I gotta scroll through a million chat
You
messages.
told me.
I
I'm
told
pretty sure.
Brian.
Yeah, he definitely
Ryan.
told me. I mean, he
I-
also told me he's expecting Flame and Pobelter and Cody's son and Olay.
Yep. It's the Immortals team that got me into League of Legends back in
The literal
2016.
salty run back of 2017
Or
summer.
17, yeah, 2017 summer is when I got
Yeah, not
into
even
League.
spring, because spring had Dardoch.
Yep, I didn't watch Spring 2017. Actually, I watched MSI, but all I watched was Summer Split of 2017 is when I first started watching League, and 2 years later I'm watching 13 leagues instead because I'm an idiot. But yeah, I fell in love with that Immortals team. I watched them and I was all excited, and then they choked in Worlds, and that's when I learned about NA at Worlds. It hasn't gotten better.
Cody's son Insec.
So
It's gotten better. We got the semis.
we did get the semi. You're right. Not this
And
year,
then
though.
this year we
Not this year. No, not this year.
we almost did.
We almost.
Yeah.
Almost, totally.
Yeah.
We almost did.
We were there.
We were there. But yeah, as Xmithy joined Immortals, that lightened the blow a whole lot for me. Cause actually a really big Immortals fan again. Like just hearing them come back,
Uh-huh.
I'm super excited about it. Getting Xmithy makes it even better.
All right, post a video of you burning all your liquid
I'm not
stuff.
gonna burn all my liquids up. But I'm definitely gonna buy Immortals gear because I still that's my favorite, like my favorite color and my favorite logo because it's just a freaking helmet. It looks like my rock shell helmet on freaking
Yeah.
RuneScape,
To be fair,
man.
their logo is actually sick.
I
Like the
love
sick
it.
Spartan
And
helmet.
and a more I've this is conspiracy theory with William here. I came LCS. That's the video. All right. These colors, I've used these colors for my entire life. This is my favorite color scheme. And that logo right there is it's just a helmet, I know. But like see this thing right here? We're going to like the little
You're right.
like
I mean,
half circle there. It's very similar to the Evanescence logo. My favorite band, favorite helmet, favorite colors.
I might have to rethink this partnership here. If Evanescence is your favorite band,
Oh, we'll go down a long road there.
nah, I'm just kidding, man.
But-
They have a few good songs.
But
I'll be real with you.
look at that. We'll do a side by side. That's my conspiracy. This is literally. You look at me like, oh wow, this guy might know a lot about you, or you might think I know nothing. That's true. That could be true as well.
yeah,
that's
this could be a comedy podcast for some people.
that's how I got into League. As I literally am like, wow, I love this team's logo. Like, it's my favorite colors. Like, I'm like, oh, it kind of looks like the Evanescence thing, and it's a nice helmet as well. So I was just like, oh,
I have the original Immortals icon in League. So, look on that, Will.
You do. I do not. Yeah, that's the origin story of how I got into the League. I'm like, this team has my favorite logo of all time of anything I've ever seen. So
I've heard far worse reasons, man.
hey,
That's part of the reason why I'm a C9 fan because I thought their logo looked fucking cool.
hey, sometimes logos are important. Logos are very important.
It's the
branding.
brand.
Yep. But yeah.
I'm a CLG fan because I liked their players,
Mhm.
and then they almost won MSI, and then now I hate myself. I'm a fan, so
Yeah.
Oh,
So
but now you have Smoothie.
we do have
yeah.
some-
I
yeah. How
mean-
do you feel? Let's go on. Let's move on. How do you feel about that?
Well, I told you earlier. I mean, I think it may be good for 6A because it is getting a little stale in the bot lanes. Maybe that can revitalize him, but I think it's a side grade. Like,
yeah, I agree with you. I think that Smoothie and
yeah,
I have like Smoothie and Biofrost is like either 2-3 or 3-4 on the
they're just
support.
past
They're-
TSM supports now. Again, TSM support.
To me personally, I know you guys already signed Stixay, but I thought Stixay was more of a problem in the bot lane than Biofrost, in my opinion. I thought Biofrost had some really good plays this year and was popping off, so I kind of don't like it that much, but at the same time, I think it's equal. You know, I don't
mean-
think it's a major. It could be maybe they click a lot better, but from just a pure statistics, like just watching the games, watching the players type situation, it's almost the same player. You know what I mean? You're
Yeah,
getting a few
I mean-
different
I
picks,
think
and obviously, but
I think they're both good. I think
Mhm.
they just didn't work as well together because I've seen 6A just go off when he was with Afromu, and then he was with Bio, and like they were alright. And then I've seen Biofrost go off when he was with Double Lift, and I guess a little bit with 6A, but like I don't know. I think it's good to break up the duo. I think they were too comfortable together.
hmm
Could just be like what we were talking about, even with like Hansama and Vander and Broxel and TL. Sometimes a change of scenery can mean a lot.
yeah, it is just as much of a side grade to me as Xmithy for Broxa. The only issue is you're giving someone a free AD. One's not an import. Like that's a downgrade for Team Liquid in my opinion.
I mean, it's one of those things where once upon a time, Smoothie was an MVP candidate on Cloud 9, and him and Sneaky were considered almost like a top 2 bot lane.
Yep.
A sneaky lane.
Yeah, that was like when I was first watching it. I think my issue, I'm going back to Team Liquid thing again, is that I want to see Jensen confirmed. You know, because if Jensen does end up leaving, Now you can't get an import mid laner, which is what I was kind of worried about.
The return of the notorious POB.
Yeah, you'd have to get either like POB, Demonte would be a bit. I would actually take Demonte. I don't think that would be too bad. It'd be a downgrade from.
I might actually like Team Liquid slightly more if Tanner Time came. They actually had a North American player besides Double Lift.
Yeah, but you know what I mean though. Like now I want to see that because that's why I was worried about locking in an import jungler because of these rumors that Jensen might leave, and then the issue with that. But I was okay with it with the import names like Tarzan, Clid. Like you hear all these names
They're
like
not
that.
coming to
Karsa. Like
none of them are gonna come to NA.
Yeah, I know, dude.
That kind of comes to my own thought to everything else. It's right down to like the Hooney deal where they dropped $2.3 million on Hooney.
Why?
It's not only just a thing for like here are the Korean players. They're gonna be like, oh well, Hooney, like this guy who I know I'm better than is getting like this amount of money in a worse region. Like I could go to these other teams, or I could just go to North America and be better than him and get more money because they know that I'm better than them. And then it gets to become a thing where now you have North American orgs who are like, oh, well, this team is shelling out $2.3 million a year for Hooney. What is a player like Tarzan or Chovy or Clid or Cuz or UCal?
Oh yeah, we haven't heard about Tucson yet.
Yeah, Tucson's still.
I was waiting for that. I forgot about that.
So you have all these players who are like these guys. You're like, this guy's getting $2.3 million. Now you're talking about bringing over a guy who might be asking for like let's lowball and say $3 million. Then you're paying $3 million a year for one player, and then you're talking about the rest of your roster.
Yeah, you'd have to cheap out on the rest.
Yeah, you're seeing you pay $3 million for this guy. So unless they're like a huge team player, like they're not going to be. That's probably not going to do too well for you, like in the locker room, man. If you know this guy's going to be strutting around, making like making $3-4 million a year, just because
if he's not performing like phenomenally, like all that pressure is on that guy has to perform like MVP level. Otherwise, you're going to have some discord there because if the rest of your team is making like 300K, 400K is whatever the average is about in the league, that they think it is at least. Like that's a 10% of what that guy's making.
And God forbid, like especially when you're talking about these mid jungle duos. Like imagine if you wanted to get Chovy and Tarzan as a duo.
Be nice
and you're saying Hooney getting paid $2.3 million and like
$10 million.
Yeah, for two players.
Yeah,
$10 million for two players a year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but these orgs aren't NFL orgs, so they don't have these billions of dollars. We don't even have billionaires owning teams yet. We have like millionaires owning teams.
And that's what it comes down to. It's going to be a matter of, okay, here's these Korean players who are good. They've shown how good they are. Are they willing to go to a worse region, basically almost be guaranteed to go to the international tournaments, get paid a lot of money, but not necessarily play with the best players or have the best chance internationally? Or do they just stay in Korea where they're more familiar with, where everyone speaks their language, where there's not a sense of them being foreign to everything, and then be more competitive with these teams? Or they could just go to China, get paid a lot more money. Maybe things aren't as familiar, but there's a chance that you'll still be competitive and make a lot more money.
Yeah,
and apparently your team will just translate on the fly during the game, and you'll be fine.
Yeah, if you have Rookie on the team. But yeah, it will be. I agree. I think the Hooney sign was way over. Even Vulcan being 1.1 million to C9, that was a lot of money.
Yeah, what the heck was that? That's a lot of money.
That's contract buyouts. Those are things that are expensive.
Yeah, those things are.
He's not getting paid $1.5 million a year, or else the subreddit would have imploded.
Yeah, that is true. But I don't know. That one I'm curious about as well. Also, speaking of C9, they did trade Golden Glue today, which they needed to do eventually. Like, Golden Glue was sitting in their academy league for a very long time. They got Palafox for it. I've heard of him before, but I don't follow academy too much as well.
He's pretty good.
I've heard that. I know, right? I might follow it more this year now that the LMS is disbanded pretty much. but probably not.
Follow it a little bit. I haven't.
Probably not.
he's not like blowing up the league. He's not like someday of mid lane or anything like that in like academy. Like he's not hard smurfing, but he's good. Just promise. I think he's better served to go to C9 if they plan on like training him up, putting him in the hyperbolic time chamber of the C9 academy team. And then Golden Glue, obviously, he's paid his dues. He's looked a lot better. Like the fact that he gets a chance to start and then do it on the team, where he can maybe play with his old C9 Academy pal Keith. It feels like it might just work out for him. And I'm actually happy for Grayson. I'm glad he finally found a team. Dude's been doing his best.
And this brings up the interesting point that we do not know where Froggen is going to end up. Froggen is apparently no longer on Golden Guardians. If Golden Glue is the main starter for Golden Guardians, like they said, Froggen's not there unless Froggen roll swaps or something. But
he's pulling a perks.
He's gonna pull.
He's going AD.
No, he's maybe support. I don't know because I think they confirmed. I think they confirmed FBI was their support or their ADC in bot lane. But no, that was the potential.
It's all a ruse.
You need to just make Froggen a support with the best Vayne in the league.
Yeah,
and you can just play Nivea support. And you just pin people to walls.
Yeah.
And just
or you get a Poppy one trick to be your ADC. Someone that plays Poppy and Vayne.
You literally can't dodge it. It's just like, I'm walking up to you and so is Nivea.
We should play that.
That would be so stupid.
What AD,
we have
AD page with Karthus, though?
Karthus support doesn't work. Moving on.
It's gonna be the double jungle.
Yeah, the double. They're gonna only run double jungle.
FBI plays Ezreal, just plays safe.
But yeah, so the other big signing because that one to be fair was just an okay sign. It was not breaking news. The big one was TSM getting Kabe from Splice, so Splice is like gone pretty much.
And also tying into that, to the CLG announcement, they also got Biofrost as a 1-to-1 trade. Yes, so we have a confirmed bot duo for TSM.
They do not have a jungler yet, which is very surprising. According to
Kabe and Biofrost, that's so weird.
I don't know about the I don't remember if it was Skeleton or not, but I heard that they were going hard for Xmithie, so it kind of blew people away that Xmithie went to Immortals. Which totally makes sense, by the way, that TSM, the team that with jungle problems for the last 2-3 years, going for the best consistent jungler in NA.
Yeah, I mean, who knows?
People have also been joking about Meteos finally going back on his word and joining TSM.
I don't think that's going to happen.
I don't think it's happening either. And I would hate to see Dardoch go to that team.
Oh, yeah, Dardoch will not fit that TSM mold.
I think that he would something would crack, and then that team might actually explode again.
Yeah, so
Breaking Point 2.
How do you feel about Kabe? I think it's. We talked about this at the beginning, not in the beginning podcast, but we talked about this before the podcast. Kabe, he's consistent. He's very consistent. I like Upset better if I was comparing the two, because Upset has higher highs than Kabe does. Kabe doesn't have his low lows, but he's very consistent. He played well at Worlds, but I don't know how I feel. It almost feels like Zven 2.0 to me, personally.
He's just like, he's good. He's consistent. He's just not an exciting player.
Maybe that's it. Maybe that's it.
I have trouble getting excited about it. I'm like, oh, cool.
He's from Splice, like one of the most boring organizations. They're pretty hype. They were pretty hyped at Worlds because they were winning, but like playstyle wise, they are boring as shit.
Has he ever won anything?
It's like you want to talk slow late game teams.
Yeah, exactly.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah,
the only reason they were ever fast is because Xerxes is a Smurf.
Yeah, they're just so.
Now he's with Upset.
I mean, it's an upgrade for sure over what we saw from Zven in NA. Like, it's definitely an upgrade, but does this put TSM? I think it was Fiona that was saying TSM is going to be the best team or something like that. Does this put TSM as the best team? I don't think so.
No.
If they got Xmithie, you can argue it maybe, but.
I think if they got
if they got Xmithie and Licorice, then I would say yes.
If they got Xmithie and Licorice, man, I would just stop watching because I'd be too upset as a C9 fan.
Licorice is staying on C9, right?
That's
It's not
almost all but
confirmed, but that's
There's,
that's
yeah,
what we're thinking.
they pretty much said as of right now. There's like nothing swirling around Licorice, Blabber, or Niski on C9,
Yes.
and we'll get to the bot
Yeah,
lane.
and we'll talk about that right now. Sven has signed with C9, and C9 has lost a fan with my brother. Matt already said
I
he-
forgot about
the
that.
thing is, wasn't the other rumor was Reckless? So
yeah,
he was.
yeah.
So I think
the
he was a
Reckless
fan-
is his second. Yeah, I guess he wants this more because Reckless is my brother's second least favorite player in the world, behind Bwippo. Like he hated
Oh my
Bwippo the
God.
most. It's Reckless the second. So if they would have, and Sneaky is by far my brother's favorite player. Like the only reason my brother probably cares about League is because of Sneaky. And
Oh, did you tell your brother Sneaky had a new post for Princess Day today?
oh, he already saw that.
Oh
Don't
my
worry.
God.
Okay,
Don't worry.
just making sure. I want to test his. I'm just asking how much of a fan he is.
He's got those up to date.
Yeah, he's got
Yeah,
notifications
he got
on.
those notifications for Sneaky. But yeah, I don't. I'm gonna be honest. I know we should be clapping this and celebrating this because this means most likely Brock is correct. I don't see Sneaky going to any other team personally. I think he's a C9 and done type situation. That's what I see. Obviously, and Brock predicted this back in spring, but I don't like this move at all by C9. I'm gonna be honest. I don't think Sven is an upgrade over Sneaky at all.
Yeah, I agree.
I think it's a side grade, and you needed an upgrade there badly. Like you have Sven Vulcan. Like, is that really better than Sneaky Zazel? Ryan, you're a C9 guy. Is that better than Sneaky Zazel?
I think if you take the individual parts, it depends on what, like what time of the game you're talking about. I think laning phase this duo is fucking bonkers compared to Sneaky Zazel.
That's true.
I think after that it becomes iffy. I think Vulcan out of lane is roughly equivalent to Zazel depending on champions. I would probably give an edge. I would say that unless Zazel was on Rakan and Alistair,
Braun,
I'd probably give the edge to Vulcan every time because he just looked consistent on a wider variety of champions. And apparently he is a pretty decent voice for the team as well, which is good. And the fact that Piglet has even said that he likes working with Vulcan makes me think that somehow this dude is magical.
If
And this dude
Piglet likes to work with
and cleanses toxicity from bot lane. So I'm like, okay, I'm good with this guy.
yeah.
Sven, I would say out of lane, and is probably actually kind of unpopular from a lot of the sneaky faithful of C9. And I love Sneaky. I've loved this team ever since I saw them get their shit kicked in by Fnatic at 2013 Worlds. And I followed, and the first team I actually decided to follow, and I'm not entirely sure why. I just wanted to, and I've stuck with them ever since. So
Was it because their logo
it's
looked
not
like
like
Evanescence?
not like I'm some bandwagoner who came on last year at semis or some bullshit. So I would say Sneaky for a while was actually kind of like an Akabe situation in terms of his way at Worlds, whereas Double Lift was much more like the upset.
Mm-hmm.
He was Double Lift was much more like the super mechanical player, had the highest highs, but he didn't exactly always have the best success depending on the team he was on.
Yep.
Whereas Sneaky was always consistent. He was very good. Sometimes he had some good pop-off splits, but more often than not, like he was just kind of there. He would never really cost you the game. Had good team fight presence. Sometimes decent laning, sometimes bad laning, but he would always kind of make it up to you. I think after this year, as much as people try to shit on Sven in terms of like his really stupid mistakes and where he just completely loses his mind and just makes dumb decisions. Yeah, but that's the thing too. But then there are other occasions where Sven is right there, and he's the reason why TSM's winning a game.
That's true.
Like, and so I feel like he's had some big blunders, but they're like maybe one or two instances. But the fact that they're so big, kind of like Cody's son at Worlds in 2017, where he tried to insect an enemy player into his own team to get away. Yeah. But that's the thing. It's like, well, if that works out, he's a god. But no, he just looks like an idiot, and that's
Yeah.
just and that's the stigma that kind of stuck with
It
him.
stuck with him for a long. I was pretty flamed hard for saying that. From that moment on, I was still saying Cody Sin's second best ADC in NA, and I got a lot of flame for that.
Yeah, I
And-
remember giving it to you.
Yeah, it's mostly you.
And that's the thing with Sneaky going into this year, because I feel like this is like probably the first year, especially in summer, that you couldn't say, oh well, Sneaky's laning wasn't that good, but him out of lane, he was a beast. Like you couldn't touch him. He was awesome.
Didn't happen this year.
It wasn't the case. There's a lot of cases where it felt like he was either a non-factor in fights, whether that was him not being a part of the team, or he was just in very bad positioning. There were times where he was caught, or he was even just straight up caught out. He seemed like he just completely missed like obvious skill shots. Not from that he's firing, but like the enemy team is firing. Like the enemy team is like dropping like like one of the Talia pushes, and he's just standing right on top of it. Doesn't even move, doesn't flash, nothing.
Mhm.
It just dies. So I feel like if there's ever a time that you're gonna try to make a move to get Sneaky out of there, I think the time is probably now.
I agree with
Um,
that.
I know there's a lot of C9 fans who are like, oh well, I want to see a salty run back. Let's put Vulcan in for Zazel and give Sneaky and play to Sneaky. I'm like, come on, I'm like, dude, come on. You're literally saying, oh, Sneaky was bad. Let's put all of our eggs in the Sneaky basket in 2020 to make him so he plays better. Whereas you have even teams like Team Liquid, that a lot of times they'll play the bot side for sure, but there are times where bot side is just getting advantages and getting push and getting priority and getting tower plates and getting gold and getting farm advantages by themselves.
That happens a lot
They don't
too.
they don't
Team Liquid.
need it's like they don't need the draft. They don't need jungle attention. They don't need 4-man dives. They don't need everything to be focused on a Caitlyn lane. They just fire and they can just smash you. And you don't and even like some of the best AD carries in the world can just be the best. No, and their support can only bring them down so much. Zazel was not the only reason Sneaky was bad this year. Sneaky played with Zazel for 2 splits before this, and they were fine. But overall, I think that my problem with the C9 trade, as a C9 fan, is that okay, so you pay a lot of this money to get what's probably maybe a slight upgrade to Zazel across the board. Maybe he's roughly equivalent in there, but with stronger laning phase, about as young, has a good ceiling, better champion pool, whatever, fine.
Had Diamond in the wings though, so
Yeah, and that's true. And maybe they just don't mesh well. Maybe they have other plans for Diamond. Who knows? And then you have Sven coming over. I think Sven is probably a better laning ADC by far than Sneaky, at least judging from the last split. I think he puts up better numbers. I think that if he's able to regain his form, a la the other person with a similar name that came onto C9 two years ago around this time,
Mhm.
I think if he finds his form coming out of the talent suppression machine, that he can actually
That's
do
a
okay.
Great
Like
name for
essentially,
TSM. Holy shit! Talent suppression machine. I'm
Yeah.
using
Oh
that.
my god.
I can't take credit for that. Jack came up with it.
That's I've never heard that. That's good.
So I think that if we get C9 Niels and not C9 Sven, then I think C9 actually look really good. But my problem is that while on paper this roster is not bad, it's actually pretty decent. I think it's the fact that you're giving up
MVP.
the MVP jungler, who is not even an import anymore, for what is essentially a side grade at best. My guess is that you're also getting cash considerations, some of which you spent on the buyout for the slight upgrade in support. You're holding to Licorice. This isn't a win in the off season. Now maybe they have other plans, but my guess is that this is probably the final roster for C9, and it's disappointing because I don't think that like I said, it gives too many question marks because now you're not only taking away EVP Jungler Sven, you're taking away Sneaky Azazel, who you kind of knew what to expect.
Yeah,
But now you have
jumping into an
not
unknown.
only do you have a completely new bot lane, you also have a
work with
completely
each
new
other.
bot duo. You've never seen these two work together,
Mhm.
and you have Blabber as your jungler
Who's
full time.
very coin flippy, so full time is
So there's question marks
scary.
from, and then we don't know how Blabber's going to work with
Niski,
Nisky and vice versa.
who worked amazing with Svenskeren.
Exactly.
worked
So
really
literally,
well
when you have 4 question marks for this roster, with Licorice being the only person who's probably not a question mark for this team,
I agree with that.
because you know what you're going to get and he's going to be good for you. But it's like, is this going to be enough to actually challenge for a number 1 spot?
No.
And I think that's kind of the problem.
Yeah, I don't
There's nothing to make you feel like, oh, excited as a C9 fan. You're not going to 2020. It's like, oh man, we got BDD in mid lane. Like, I don't know how he's going to work with Blabber, but maybe they'll just go ham. Blabber doesn't need to talk; he just goes. BDD can do that. That's physical language. You don't need to speak to go. And we have nothing to really get excited for. And in a lot of ways, it just feels like the same team, but possibly worse because because there's so many question marks, so many things that we don't know how it's going to pan out.
Yeah, I honestly feel like after today, obviously rosters are not locked yet by any means. I've been some rosters we don't know anything. This might sound
Evil geniuses and immortals.
yeah. This might sound a little cocky, but I can pretty easily see a Team Liquid 5-peat at the moment. I don't think anyone overwhelmingly got people so far. Stuff can still change. We still got 20, but as of today, do you guys see?
You're not a Liquid fan anymore.
I am gonna be a pretty big Immortals fan, so I'm still I'm hoping Immortals competes. I'm really interested. I like the rumors of Cody Sun going back there, getting Xmithy back is awesome. I heard rumors that PoE. I will take that, even though I want Pobelter. PoE is pretty nice too, and so like an Xmithy PoE, Cody Sun line with Tucson as the support possibly. That's a damn good team. That's an NA championship type style.
But who's your top laner?
Who's your top laner? Don't know.
Is it
At the moment, it's looking like Dokla possibly, which instantly takes you off the championship team. To me, it instantly drops you to just the playoff team. You get a good top laner, like I can't even think of anyone off the top of my head. But
no, DC, you're thinking small. The Immortals lineup. I mean, you got to get rid of Dokla. You got to bring in Flame. You got to bring in Flame for the synergy.
Is PoE still an import?
Yeah, he's still an import.
Okay.
He's only been here for a couple of splits.
That makes sense.
But we're talking about Flame, Xmithy, Power of Evil, Cody Sun, and the greatest of all time,
Big.
Still under contract.
Yeah, I was about to say.
Oh man,
I haven't heard
that's
anything
a
about
world
Big
beater.
all off season.
There we go. Oh, that's the surprise Immortals mid laner. It's Big.
Big's moving to mid.
He is role swapped.
And
You're
Froggen
gonna
is
be
coming
damned.
in support.
If Big roll swaps to mid on Immortals, I am buying his jersey the moment that happens, and I will show it on stream.
Mid Big.
I'll hold you to it.
Yeah, I will absolutely buy that jersey. Oh man, but I think with that, I mean, there obviously we might do another podcast down the road. I don't know yet, depending on how many more big things happen. If some more big things,
thing.
Yeah. Once big, that's it. Once big gets signed
once a
somewhere,
big thing
we're
happens.
once big
We'll have
gets
a very
signed, we're
big
gonna have a
podcast.
podcast all about big, No, which is basically most of our NA podcasts anyway.
Yeah. We
But-
should just tweet at him every time we go live.
Oh,
Be like,
man.
hey, your fan club is about to stream.
I love how it started as like a joke, obviously, but like I've come to love Big. Like I want Big to succeed every time now. because of how it started. Basically him saying him being at home doing nothing except playing RuneScape waiting for a call. I'm like, this is my favorite player. He's doing what I do. but he's much better and more successful. Making probably 300 grand. He should be getting millions.
Give him a $2.3 million deal.
Easily, I would take that over Hooney.
Hey, has he ever choked in a world final?
No, he has
No.
not.
He has not. Who he has?
He's undefeated in World Finals.
He is, exactly.
He's undefeated in every final he's ever been in.
Get this man signed. I'm gonna be so depressed if Big isn't signed. He needs to go to Korea. They need it. Korea's got a weak support.
Are you
my
kidding
God.
me, dude? He's going to China.
Yeah.
He's playing Senna, just popping
Dude,
off.
IG needs a support. Speaking of IG, real quick, those Carso, the IG rumors. Jesus Christ, do not let that happen. World.
IG big.
Yeah, and then also the Tarzan
I
and
thought that
Chovy
crazy.
rumors to RNG. I know Griffin denied them, but
Yeah.
sometimes teams deny those. People were denying
Like
Broxa.
Broxa.
Broxa to Team Liquid, exactly. Denying means literally nothing.
We have no problems. We
Yeah.
at Reckless don't have problems.
But 2-3 days later, I was gonna tweet something about like doing a similar like copy paste of that, but just with you and me, Brian, for our bot lane. We have no
We don't
problems.
have problems. You have problems.
We have problems.
We only yell at each other all the time. Though I need you back on my support. I need someone to protect me. No one protects me in our group. Everyone,
Oh,
if you notice, everyone in our group just goes in, kind of thing. And then I'm like,
should-
well,
You need to become friends with Yankos. He'll play Braum for you.
yeah, really. Well, Brian plays Braum, or you play.
No, I don't.
You don't play Braum, but you play like Thresh and stuff, and you save me with that.
Yeah.
So I feel good about that. Anyway, I think that wraps it up. Anything else? I think obviously there's going to be a lot more moves to go down, but I think that wraps up all the moves.
I'm gonna say hot take. Kabe is the biggest overrated player in free agency.
Ooh, Brian, what's your hot take? We're doing hot takes now.
We're doing hot takes. I think Broxa is a downgrade.
Downgrade? Okay, I don't.
Big downgrade, yeah. I don't
Big
think-
downgrade.
I don't think he's good. He hasn't done anything.
I don't. I think he's. I think he's Smithy level, but I don't think he's much better. You can even argue that he's worse than Smithy. I would give you
That's
that
what
because
I'm-
Smithy can steal anything. You know, like those. You don't
Yeah,
get those
that's-
clutch smites
that's what I
anymore.
I
So-
said I think he's a downgrade.
Yeah.
What happens if you put Smithy and Greg in a smite fight?
Oh my god.
Shoot, I wasn't ready.
Smithy miss smites because he thinks Greg's gonna smite. I don't know.
I'm gonna do a mean one. I was gonna say Immortals is gonna go to finals in Spring Split if they get Cody Sun, but if they get Cody Sun and POE, they're going to finals. But
Well, what if they get Cody Sun, PoE, and Flame? Do they go to World Finals?
yes. But and Ole, bring Ole back. I love Ole, but man,
It's too many imports.
Oh, eh.
They need big.
They need big. You're right. Sorry, big. Thank
That's
you.
why. That's why I said big. He's native,
Hey,
man. Doesn't take the inside spot.
Ole had to walk so Big could fly. So
There you go. That's a world championship team there. But no, I'm gonna say I'll do a spicy hot take. Cloud9 doesn't make playoffs with this roster.
no way.
I don't like this man signing at all.
No, I'm kidding. They'll make playoffs.
They'll
I realize
probably,
what I said. They'll make playoffs. 100%.
I have to
They're
make
not
a
winning
spicy
anything.
take. I have to make a spicy take, okay? Cloud9 misses playoffs. All right.
Okay.
All right, we'll see. They could be wrong on
Yeah,
everything.
we'll definitely see.
But
Basically, it's a battle of who's more overrated, Sven or Cobb.
that's pretty much how
Who
it's going to
doesn't
be.
make
in my
playoffs?
Or Broxa. We have 3 EU. Which of these 3 EU players are overrated the most?
Are they all Danish too?
I think so.
I don't remember.
I think so.
I had to look into that. That'd be crazy if they were all Danes.
All right. So with that, thank you guys for coming to watch, and we will see you sometime. Maybe not the Demacia Cup. I was gonna say tomorrow, but no. Maybe Demacia Cup in December, late December, but maybe sometime earlier if there's a lot of big news. You'll be known. Anyway, see you guys. Good night.
Bye.